Hello and welcome to my channel where I will be solving mathematical problems. This is my very first day on posting mathematical solutions on YouTube, so please be patient with me while I explain to you how to calculate square roots of any number. Um, how I decided to do that because I was looking at YouTube, obviously scanning through different channels, and I came up on this channel, Mind Your Decisions. That's a guy out there who's solving math problems. And one of the problems he was solving was how to calculate the square root of any number using the digit by digit number. So I was like, wow, this guy is doing the stuff backwards because when I was about 12 years old, I was able to solve these kind of problems, but I used to do it on the reverse side. So he goes from left to right, and I goes from right to left. So my method of calculating the square root of any number starts with knowing these values I have on the s- box here, where it's common that everyone knows the square root of 0, and everyone knows any number up to 9. These are basic stuff that we all do in primary school or in pre-high school. Um, what I want you to impress on you all is that these last numbers are going to be very important to start the solution. And then the second part of it will be dealing with these numbers. So what I'm going to do first is this. Let's start with a simple problem of the square root of 1296. I'm going to start with this number right here. And I'm going to say is which number on this side, when I square it, I get 6 as the last number. And that will be a 4, and that will be a 6. So my solution will have either a 4 or a 6 in it. Once I get that, I cross this out. This, then I concentrate on this number. So my next phase is looking at these numbers on that side, where I will say which number, when I square it, is closest to 12 but less than 12. And that number would be a 3. Now, the next phase is you got to multiply that 3 to the next number next to it. So, therefore, the number will be 3 times 4 is equals to 12. If this number is greater than or equal to this number, then we're going to use the, the larger number. So, therefore, you tell me that the square root of 1296 will be 36. Let's take another example, and we're going to follow the very same method. Here we have the square root of, let's say, 3844. I'm going to do the same thing, concentrate on this last number, and figure out which numbers in here would give me a 4. So it's give me a 2 and an 8. So I'm going to have a 2 and an 8. Now I'm going to cross out this first number, and now I'm going to concentrate on this 38. I'm going to go on this side of the table and say which number, when I square it, will give me a number less than 38, and that number would be 6. So I know I have a 6. Now, if I multiply 6 by 7, which is one number greater than 6, I get 42. Since 38 is less than 42, well, I'm going to concentrate on this 2. So my square root of 3844 will be equals to 62. Let's do another random problem. And I will say the square root of 69169. All right. So I'm looking at The last number is a 9, and you'll see where I have is 3 and 7. So I would have a 3 and a 7 in between. But that's where it comes in. You got to know some square roots or square of numbers a little above what I have in the table. But I know the square root of 25 is 525, and the square root of 26 is 676, which is right below this. So I know that this 26, if I multiply 26 by one number above it, the 27, that would give me 702. But since 691 is less than 702, my number would have to have 3. So the square root of this number will be 263. Let's choose a number with a 5, and let's say 2025, for example. I know that with a 5 here, the only thing with a 5 in it is the 5, all right? And then I cross out these two numbers, and on left is 20. The next square of a number that will be less than 20 would be 16. So that'll give us 4. So I know my answer will be 45. Let's do one more example, and that will be the square root of, let's say, 7056, for example. Okay, you have a 6 in here, so I know there's a 6 here, and there's a 6 here, so I know I have 4 and 6. I cross this out, and now I have 70. So I know that 8 times 8 is 64. That's the closest one, so my answer will be 8. And if I multiply 8 by the next number above it is 9, will give me 72. So 70 is less than 72. Therefore, I will use a 4, and my answer will be 84. To use this method, all you really have to know is these numbers in red corresponding to these numbers here. So that's very basic one. But if you want to go into higher digits, you have to start learning more numbers and their squares, and that would help you solve square root of most numbers. Because if you know, like I know for sure, the square root of 13 is above 9, right? It's 169. Square root of 12 is 144. Square root of 14, you know that. Square root of 16 is 256. Even if you know all of those numbers, then becomes very, very easy to use in that method to solving problem. Let's do one more problem. Um, Totally random. Let's say 6708 and a 1. Okay, so concentrate on this first one. You will get a 1 and a 9. So you have 1 and a 9. Now cross this last two digit out, and now let's concentrate on 670. I know that's 25 times 25 is 625, which is the closest one below 670. So I know I have 25. If I multiply 25 by 26, I will get 650. So since 670 is greater than 650, I know my number is a 9. So therefore, I know my solution will be 259. Using this method and some mathematical manipulation, you will be able to calculate the square root of any number. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you are interested in more solutions like this, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this to anyone you think would benefit to solutions like this, and leave me a comment. Let me know how I did. Have a great day.